Hi everybody. In this video I'm going to talk a little bit more about Microsoft Teams and a couple different things that you can do, such as sharing a file inside of Microsoft Teams and how awesome it is that since Microsoft owns Microsoft Teams and Microsoft Office and Microsoft OneDrive, which includes like Microsoft Word and Excel and PowerPoint, how awesome it is, this feature that they've built into Microsoft Teams, and it allows you to do something really cool. And I'm going to show that to you now. Just know going into it that you can still share any type of file. You can share an image, you can share a Google slide, you can share any type of file that's on your computer, a link, etc. And that person receives it, they still have the option to click on it and it'll preview that image or that file, or they can download it, or they can copy a link and send it to themselves, whatever they need to do. But if it's a Microsoft Office file that you send to them, there's something really cool that you can do. I'm also going to share a couple other little snippets with you inside of Microsoft Teams, some little hidden gems. So we're going to talk about those as we go. So let's get started here. I'm going to share my screen. And here's my conversation that I have with a colleague of mine, Uncle Fester, and we have this conversation going. Now, at the bottom of every single conversation window, you have all these different icons, and they all mean something. You can hover over top of them and see what they tell you. Like the second one there is set delivery options. Kind of important, kind of cool what you can do. The first one is pretty basic. It's just to modify the text, the font, the italics, bold, underline, different colors, etc. So use that to your advantage if you need to. But then the second one, if you need to send like a priority message, and what this does is it will bypass that person's notification settings. So for example, I might be inside of a meeting, so I have my do not disturb enabled between a certain time from like 1 to 2 p.m. And since I particularly use Microsoft Outlook, Teams ties in with my Outlook and it already knows when I have a meeting. So like all my meetings are scheduled, and when I go into a meeting, Teams knows because it has connection into Outlook, so it has access to my calendar and it knows John's in a meeting. So I'm going to set his notification preferences to do not disturb. Don't alert him when all these chat messages are coming in. But sometimes people might still need to get through to me. So using these options here, you can click on urgent or important, and that will bypass, it will override my do not disturb. So if you click on urgent and then you type a message, it tells you right there, notify recipient every 2 minutes for 20 minutes. So like every 2 minutes, it's going to alert me again and again and again and again, every 2 minutes until I look at that message and acknowledge it. This is a really good way to get somebody's attention if you're not able to call them, if you're not able to walk over to where they are, etc. Let me turn that off. Let me go back to standard message. But the third option over is really what we're going to talk about today. Attach file. In this here, you get two options. OneDrive, if you've connected your OneDrive inside of Teams, feel free to. Everybody with the account that we've set up, you have OneDrive. Use it to your advantage. I know most individuals are using Google Drive and Google Platform. That's fine. I'm a Microsoft guy, and so I use OneDrive for everything. OneDrive is the most secure online encrypted storage facility, and I would recommend that you use it. Use it to your advantage. It ties in really well with Teams. And the second option down here is upload from my computer. So let's click on that. This will open up a little window where you can start browsing around to find the file that you want to share with the person or individuals inside of that chat that you're clicked on right now. So I have this here Excel test file that I've created just for this, and I'm going to share that with Uncle Fester. Now you would just click on open, or on a Windows computer you would click OK. But I'm going to show you another way to share the file as well. So I'm going to cancel this. If you already have a little browser window open, let me get out of there, a little browser window open on your computer, and you've navigated to where that file is stored, you can click on it and drag it down to the chat. Now notice that there's no icon, it's just showing you the window, the file, sorry. But when I get the file all the way down here to where it says drop your file here, a little green plus shows up. That means that I'm in the right area and I can let go of that file now. Up here there's no green check or green plus. Down here there's a green plus. So I let go of the file here, and notice the progress bar, it was uploading the file. Now it's ready to go. Now you can include a message here to let that person know what you're sending. Here is the Excel file we spoke about. So once you send type a message and you're ready to send it, you can click enter on your keyboard and it will send it. Or if you're a clicker, you can click on the arrow at the bottom where it says send. It does the exact same thing. So send that file and bam, that file has been sent. Now let's go over to Uncle Fester's chat and you're going to see what that individual receives. So here we are under Uncle Fester and we're chatting with John Fester. And John just sent us that Excel file. Here's the Excel file we spoke about, Excel test file. Now, here's where it gets really cool. If you click on these three dots, you get a couple options. Open in, download, and copy link. Copy link is if you need to send it to yourself, maybe to your email address, I don't know. Download, very simple. It's going to download the file. You're going to have a download copy of it somewhere. You're going to save it to your computer. Open in, this is the magic. Now you get three options under open in. You get Teams, Excel desktop app, and browser. Let's talk about these two first. Browser is going to open the file inside of your browser. All Microsoft Office programs can open Word, Excel, PowerPoint, all that stuff inside of a browser. So you don't have to have the applications installed. Now it's obviously recommended that you install the Office applications, Word, Excel, Outlook, all that stuff, because it runs so much smoother. You're able to work in documents a lot better. So if you have those applications installed, then you would select the middle option, Excel desktop app, because that means it's installed in your app in your desktop. But here's the magic. You don't even have to install anything. If you click on Teams, which is the default option, it will open that file directly inside of Teams without ever leaving Teams, without having to have Excel installed, without having to do anything. It opens that file and you can see everything that is inside of that file inside of Teams. Guys, that's amazing. That's awesome right there. Now, it's a preview. It's only to view. You're not able to edit anything in this document. If you click on something, try to edit, you're going to get this little error that it's a read-only document. That's fine because you're previewing this file. If you do need to edit something, you do have this option at the top, open in desktop app. And all that's going to do is simply open Excel and this file inside of Excel so you can modify it. Really cool stuff. So let's close this, and when you close it, you're taken right back to that chat window. This is really cool technology. Now, if you were to, that's when you click on these three dots. If you were to just click on the name of the file, then that is why you see right here that it says default, because that is my default option. So I don't even have to go through all that. All I have to do is click on the name of the file. It is going to open that default option of opening that file inside of Teams. Very cool stuff. Okay, let's go back. Here's another little trick, is that when you hover over top of any message that you've received, you get all these little icons. These are kind of like reactions. You see these in social media, and if you have an iPhone on text messages, you can react to messages. I don't know if Android has that, but these are reactions. So when you get a message from somebody, you can give them a thumbs up, you can heart it, you can smile face, angry face. You know, these are reactions that tells that individual that, number one, you saw the message, and kind of like what your reaction is to that message. Now, obviously, you can still reply to a message. You don't have to rely fully on the reactions, but that person gets that reaction right away and they're able to see that as well. So really simple way of just quickly kind of responding to somebody and giving them a reaction of something that they've said or something that they've shared. Okay, so we've talked about how to override the person's do not disturb. If you have like something super critical, you can set urgent or important and kind of override that so that that person gets notification of it right away. Let's go over here to the groups or teams. By default, I don't know why Microsoft does this. Sometimes I wonder who's in charge of setting default options, but it's not me. Everybody has their own ideas. But under each group that you are a member of, there will be notification options that you're able to customize what those notifications are. So when you click on a channel, which is called General, over here on the right hand side there's three dots. You click on that and you see channel notifications. You want to click on all activity, By default, it's set to custom, and I don't know what the custom setup is, but it's kind of strange where you're not going to be notified when somebody posts a message. You're only going to be notified of responses to one of your messages, or if somebody tags you. We'll touch on the tagging in just a moment. So I recommend that you click on this, go to channel notifications, and click all activity. That is going to now notify you if anybody posts a new conversation, or if anybody responds to a message, or if anybody likes or reacts to a message, or if anybody shares a file. You're going to be notified of all of that activity so that you never miss something. So many times people do not modify this and leave it by default under this custom option, and people are sitting there messaging inside of a group saying, John, do you know about this, or are you aware of it? And I'm not even seeing those messages because I don't have my notifications turned on. So be sure you go through every group that you're a member of, click on that general channel, and then come over here and set the channel notification to all activity on every single channel. You'll never miss a message that's posted to that channel. And then there was one more thing, the tags. So one thing that you're able to do to kind of get somebody's eyes on something a little bit quicker, to inform that person that you're talking to them, that this pertains to them. Inside of a group conversation or inside of one of your chats, you can start typing something, and then you put the @ just like in social media, you tag somebody. So you put the @ sign and then start typing somebody's name. So I'm going to put John. I'm going to click on John, and you see how it adds that person's name, and it's kind of in a different font color so that you know it's kind of like a hyperlink, and you're just tagging that person. I'm going to send that, and so you see it shows up different. Other individuals are able to click on that to see who is John, and it shows their little contact card. You're able to send a quick message right from there if you need to that person. Or let's switch over here to John's Teams. And you see John has his activity notification. Under activity, you see all these different things like, oh, Uncle Fester just messaged you and tagged you in that message. And if you come to the team, under the test team that I messaged, you can see that as well. Good morning, John Fester, how are you? So this is a way that you can kind of get somebody's eyes on something a little bit quicker, because it kind of notifies them in a different way. It puts this little @ symbol here because I am the person that was mentioned or tagged inside of this comment. So just like I mentioned earlier, you're able to respond, you're able to react to something, and notifying that person of your reaction. You don't have to react to everything, but it's a nice little useful way of doing it. In the previous video, I showed that you can respond directly to messages so that when you post a response, people know what you are responding to. So I think I've covered just about everything for this video. There's going to be more to come, and if anybody has any ideas of what I could cover in some of these videos, please pop me an email or send me a Teams message and let me know, hey, could you include this topic in a future video, or here's a question I have about Microsoft Teams, and I'm happy to include that in some future videos as well. Thank you very much, everybody.